Hello friends, this is Sumit Sharma from Path Pradarshak Foundation. I'm really honored to present you dynamic yet different personality. No matter how different they are, but one thing is common in between them. They all are successful by their own right and hard work. I would like to introduce you, and I'm very privileged to introduce Lakshmi Ramakrishnan ma'am, who is well-known director as well as actor in South industry. Ramakrishnan sir, who is well-known researcher as well as PhD from IIT Madras. Lieutenant Colonel Shyam Krishna sir, who built our nation, and Saurabh Santosh sir, who is faculty at Path Pradarshak Foundation and BTech from IIT Jodhpur. So first of all, I want to ask question from men who build our country, principal of Rashtriya Military School Dholpur, who is in mission of development of kids who will protect us later on. Tell me, sir, about yourself and your experience in Rashtriya Military School Dholpur.
First of all, thanking you a lot, Sumit, for inviting me for such a wonderful gathering today. And coming to my thing, I'm from Kerala, a native. You know, it is the God's own country, and from northern part of Kerala, that is Kannur. And I have done my education and everything from Kannur itself. And after my post graduation, I joined army in 2004. No, nothing going on to that as of now, because presently I am and that task assigned to me, the responsibility given to me as the principal of Rashtriya Military School Dholpur. It is one of the 5 elite institutions in working under Indian Army for bringing the children of the wards of persons of Indian Army, Navy and Air Force. The main motive of establishing of this institution itself is to bring them into the limelight, bring them into the main track of life, where earlier in you can say it is a King George institution, pre-independent institution. That was the objective of establishing this institution. However, out of the 5 schools, this Rashtriya Military School Dholpur is the younger-most, and it is established in 1962. From that day onwards till now, the institution is functioning and contributing a lot for our motherland. Not only in the form of making proud sons of motherland in the form of Army, Navy, and Air Force and paramilitary officers, but in all walks of life, including politics, scientists, and mathematicians, and n number in all the fields, the institution is contributing. In fact, all the 5 institutions are contributing, and you are one among them, and the product we all are proud of you also, because you are the product of this institution. And even in IIT, MBBS, abroad also, IPS, IAS services, wherever you say one Georgian you can find. The product of these institutions are known as Georgians, because this institution is established by King George V, pre-independence, so still carry forward with that name. The main motive of this institution is to give the better life and better education to the wards of Army, Navy, and Air Force persons. And students, we call them as cadets, joining at the very young age of 6 years, 6th standard. That means approximately 10 to 11 years of age. And they are going from this institution after 12th pass. That means after the 17/18 years of age. Within that stipulated time of 6 to 7 years, they inculcate a lot of habits, a lot of values, proud feelings, which they should they automatically inculcate during their routine and the complete work. And they are ready to serve the nation as in the form of Army or Navy, Air Force officers, or civil servants, or doctors, engineers, and all various fields. The main thing which I found that the habit of discipline, the character which actually formulate each and everything of our life. So our main motto, the character is the greatest virtue, that stands further high.
My next question will be to Lakshmi Ramakrishnan. Ma'am, we all know you. We all know that success is not a one-day event. It is a destination of long hard work. So we want to know struggle to reach at this place? I'm asking you this question because today's generation want to be successful overnight, but majority of them fails because they lack focus and strong determination. So please tell us about your struggle to reach at this place, and also tell our audience about your journey.
So, vanakkam and namaste to all of you. Um, so, when you said success, you don't achieve success overnight, I feel there is also one more thing. Success definition is very relative.
Right.
What is success for me may not be success for you, because each one has its own definition of success, right? So
Right.
when we started our life together, I won't go too much backward. Ram and I, when we got married, Ram was doing his MS, he was a student, and I just completed my 10th standard. So they were just waiting for us to turn 18 so that they could get us married legally.
I was a cradle snatcher.
So what happened was, nothing of our life was planned. It is not, there were so many people like this. People, you give a lot of guidance to youngsters. They know they should have a roadmap, and they are like our officer who spoke about grooming the youth, for the life ahead. We were not exposed to all that, so we didn't know what we wanted out of life. Okay, so one thing was very, very strong: the upbringing. We were given the right values. So what worked for me was choosing, when we were at crossroads. Many times we are at crossroads. Both ways you will have losses and gains, right? But when you make a choice, you make a conscious choice. And my thing was, when I look back, that time it was not conscious, I was not aware. But when I look back, I have always taken the path which I thought was ethically right. I have never negotiated my self-respect, and never taken the short route, never taken the most convenient stand. And it worked for me. What I understood was, nobody can stop our growth. Nothing can stop our growth. However powerful our opponent is, however adverse our situation is, if you are talented, if you are ready to work hard, if you have the skills, and if you are ready to put in the right effort, nothing can stop your growth. That is what has landed us in this place today. So from my journey as a woman, from a 16-year-old girl to a 55-year-old woman now, our daughters, 3 of them are professionally qualified, and they are all in very responsible jobs. They are responsible citizens. That is what is what makes us more proud.
Yeah.
As I told you, success is not about making money, or
Exactly.
when you look back, you should have respect for yourself first. You don't have to get a certificate from others. You look back, you should have self-respect. You should not have negotiated it anywhere. And also, you have a responsibility as parents. I think both of us have prioritized that. Our children, our family has been the first priority. Nothing has come, nothing is more important than that. Still, I could make 4 movies. I acted in 45 films as character actor. I started, I had 4 very, very successful entrepreneurial ventures. I did around 2,000 plus talk shows. So all this happened, even though I kept my profession and passion as second priority. But I'm not saying
you are taking back-to-back awards in that show. I saw a video on YouTube. You are taking back-to-back awards.
So I'm not saying that this will work for everyone. It worked for me because I happen to be gifted with an understanding partner. I'm talking to you from a different point of view, from a woman's point of view. All of you are men. I'm the odd one out. So when a woman is put in a situation, because family is very important, the extended family is very important. I believe in the joint family system. We wanted our children to interact with a lot of people, and we wanted them to have that support of the big family, because I think to bring up a child you need a whole village. That is the concept. But when it comes to a woman, when there is a requirement to hold on to that family values, to hold on to that honor of the family, and the so-called stereotypical expectations from a woman, if you have to negotiate your self-respect, then you need to take a call. There is no point in putting up with abuse, whether it is physical, mental, or whatever it is, to hold on to the traditions. So then you have to take a call, you have to choose your role, and then there will be losses. Yes, thankfully I had a very understanding and supportive husband. So to all the youngsters who are looking, who are watching this, I would like to say one thing, and all the parents, it is not just enough to empower the girls. It is more important to bring up your sons in the right manner, not give them that, male privilege, not unnecessarily boost their unfounded ego. Only then we as a society will prosper. That is the
Exactly.
secret of my success. My secret of my success is sitting beside me, and with the blessing of our Hanuman.
I would like to add saying that we both are close friends,
Right, sir.
Yeah.
very close friends.
Even
And so,
me and my wife also feel the same. We were friends, first of all. She is from Bengal. She is a scientist in Bhabha Atomic Research Center.
Awesome.
So we both married, but still we are friends.
Excellent.
Sir, my next question is to you, sir. So you have done your
Okay.
PhD. So PhD is a minimum 5-year goals. On the top of that, for a single result, single outcome, you have to repeat too many experiments several times. Sometimes we don't expect the result even after giving you our 100%. In those situations, how can we self-motivate ourselves and stay focused? Please tell our students.
as I was telling you a little before, my PhD is in telecommunications. To be specialized, it's in microwave telecommunication, a satellite communication component. And I had designed and fabricated this component during my MS research work as well, and for my PhD. As you put it right, I had actually repeated to achieve the results for about 11 times. And it took 9 years for me to complete this work.
Oh,
My God.
Of course, with the support of my family. Because I was in a different world altogether when I was doing my PhD. So I didn't know what was happening this side. Apart from that, one thing, let me tell you, whenever I repeat a design, because it has to be redesigned, it has to be fabricated again, taken to the lab. Of course, IIT was very cooperative, I should say. Cooperative in the sense, whenever I want to do some testing, whenever I wanted to have an equipment under my this thing, everything was available in Anna University as well in Chennai. So what happened was, whenever I repeat that fabricated device, I had more enthusiasm. That's one thing which I found in myself. So I did not get bogged down to say, oh, this did not work and I didn't get the expected results. So that kept me going on and on and on. And finally, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, and one more thing is, I should say my supervisor was very supportive. That is something which I should mention here. very supportive in this case. And I had friends whom I can, talk to them about this, get fresh ideas, and all these things kept me going. To put it simple.
Sir, first of all, I'm very privileged to be sitting with all of you for this meeting. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you. So I have a question for Lieutenant Colonel, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, for RMS Dholpur, student come at, as you said, the student come at for the class 6. So they are still a kid, not even teenage, they are kid. So how do you inculcate the value of discipline to them, and the discipline which you have taught them? So we have interacted with them, and they said that they have to wake up at a certain time, early morning. And as a kid in a class 6, I never thought of waking up that early and have to go through that rigorous process of or all the physical activities. Means I was used to, like, I wake up at 8 and then go to school and then come back and then rest or sleep. But the discipline which is being inculcated into the RMS Dholpur and all the military schools, in fact, the discipline which is being inculcated, that is really difficult. So how do you do that and keep them motivated so that they keep on going for the next 6 years? That is a really difficult
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, Saurabh, it's a good question. And of course, actually, a child is coming to our institution when he is 6 to 7 years of age, a child only. And we call them as cadet. And we have a system of slow and gradual improvement. The things which you mentioned, few things which inculcate from our family, our surroundings, from our very childhood onwards, we used to see lot many things of our family, how the things are working up there. And once you synchronize with the nature, I'm sure you can wake up at 6 o'clock if you want to wake up at 4 o'clock also. Okay. So that synchronization, actually, we are making it possible for every cadet's life, first of all. We follow a pattern of army life, no doubt on that. So early morning, around 4:30 to 5 o'clock, they have to wake up, they have to get ready, and they will become automatically, within a few days of stay here, automatically they become, they will be quite able to look after themselves. Even the 6 standard student also, that means the 10 to 11 years of student, also within 2 weeks, they used to become part of this institution, then automatically they know how to behave, how to do the things for themselves or himself, automatically. And their parents do support them. Of course, here the teachers, the hostel superintendents, the wardeners, and above all, their seniors. For 6th standard, 7th standard will help, 7th standard, 8th standard will help, 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th. This is that senior system we generally maintain here. So they look after like a brother. So we call them as Baisab here. So the brotherly affection elder is showing to his younger one is automatically make him capable of the same. It is apart from those affections and administration and the looking after by the administrative authority, like principal, adam officer, the teaching staff, the administrative staff. Everybody is taking care of them. And apart from that, their brotherly affection from immediate senior will help him to be part of that very easily. And the morning schedule starts at 5:30. Then automatically they have to get ready and go for the PT, the physical training. After 1 hour of PT and exercises and everything, they have to come back. They have to get fresh and they have to go for breakfast. And by 8 o'clock, their next class academic session will start. From 8 o'clock to 1:30, they are into the classrooms as any boys. However, they will be in a proper uniform, like NCC cadet type uniform we have. That khaki uniform we do make for military schools. So they have to go to the classrooms and they have to study till 1:30. After 1:30, again, lunch break will be there. But whenever they go to one place to another, they will be in proper squads. They will not look right and left. They will go straight and they will come back from that place. So that automatically this lot many things you can learn from your seniors, your colleagues, and lot many things are. So automatically every child will come into that particular grid, particular habit to follow a particular disciplinary approach, disciplinary path. So the discipline is the prime concern of ours, because once the discipline is clear, then lot many things will fall into that. Then of course we focus more into the value system, the character building up from the young age itself, so that it will really make a good citizen. Like ma'am told right now, that success doesn't measure with money and power and physical this thing, something like that. It is once you become the good citizen of a nation, that is what success. So if I can make a good child into a good citizen, that is what my success. So if I can create a good citizen who can be a good thing for, can contribute better for the nation in future, that is what my success, what I feel as of now. So inculcating good value system and understanding him the day-to-day life, how the things are going into the society, and once he understands the things, then automatically he will come into the grid automatically. So evening after that regular routine evening games, parades are the games will be there. After games, automatically again they have to get fresh and study, go for another 2 hours of study. Preparatory periods are there. After preparatory period, again go for dinner. Dinner ke baad again they have to go back to their room, and 10:30 the light switch off will be there, then they have to go for the sleep. So in this this is a regular affair. Then automatically into the complete 24 hours of cycle, he has to follow everywhere in a regular, disciplined manner. So automatically, once within 2 weeks to 3 weeks of time as a new boy join into this institution, maximum within a month, they used to forget their family and they used to become part of this institution. Then they generally don't want to go back, even during summer vacation or winter vacation. They don't want to go back to their family because they want to be here. Because that association which they automatically develop here, that will not allow them to go back to their family again. So, and whenever they come back after many years, they used to come back to this institution first to see how the things are happening. Oh, this was my bed, where I used to sit and where I used to sit and study. Those memories of those days is carry forward a lot. So this type of a disciplined approach, of course, in every walks of life, of making a child to, you can say, an adolescent boy, or to an extent you can say man, this process is streamlined, and automatically we are taking a boy to become a good citizen of the nation.
I have a few questions. Sorry to interrupt. I have a question for the officer.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Before that, to add on to what he said, so my father used to tell me, mind your habits, because your habits become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. You know, we used to, every day my father used to say that. So that is why in our households, you know, we were taught certain things, you know, because it becomes a habit. Because the child doesn't know, it's the duty of the parents. These days, when you start, you know, forcing your child to do something, you will be put behind bars in many countries. That is one thing. And another question I wanted to ask you, officer, is you have two colonels at home. Both of them fought both the wars, and both of them are retired now. But Colonel Ramney, who was in the artillery and retired now, Colonel Vaitisharan, who was in the EME. Oh, he is also retired now. So I'm very familiar with Army campus, and he was what do you call that? He was his unit's commanding officer. So I have been there and stayed there with my sister and brother-in-law for 2 months and enjoyed all those. You know, I love Army cantonment. I've been to Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, and opposite to Jhelum River was the helipad, and
Yeah,
we used to stay in the cottages there, wooden cottages, and in
exactly.
Ranchi. So I'm very, very familiar with army life. Okay. So now what I wanted to ask you is, when you were speaking, you were talking about boys, you were talking about men, you were talking about him, those more. I want to ask you, you don't have girls in the school?
No, it's a boys' institution, ma'am.
Really sad. You should add girls. Why this difference?
Why
Ma'am,
not
actually-
have why not have a similar
actually,
institution?
I will
No,
tell you,
similar. It has to be
Ma'am,
together.
ma'am,
It has to
ma'am.
be together. Sir,
Yeah.
I think you have to propose this. From a
I will
citizen
tell you,
of
ma'am.
India, a woman, a mother of 3 girls, that is where it all starts, this gender inequality.
Yeah, I will tell you,
You
ma'am. I will
think
tell
we
you.
people are less strong than you guys? No.
Never, never, never.
I know
No.
that.
I have
No.
2 girls. I have 2 girls. I have 2 girls.
So then all the more you should make this gender free.
Ma'am, I will tell you, the main objective of the institution pre-independence was to bring the awards of JCU, NCU, and OR into the limelight, plus provide them better education to join National Defense Academy at Kadakwasla, Pune.
I
This was the
understand,
main
sir.
objective.
I
So
understand,
when-
sir. It's 75 years now.
Yeah, I know.
75
Still,
years.
yeah, lot many things is still in the way of changing only.
No, this is not acceptable.
Then-
This has to change.
Ma'am.
Modi
So
ji, change this.
Yeah. Of course, I like means I am also strong supporter of the same thing, ma'am. The thing is that we become the feeder formation to National Defense Academy. So the rules and regulations which already Army headquarters has given to us, we have to follow that particular path. However, now things changed in a lot, and even the Sainik school we are starting with girls entry. Girls are now coming into Sainik schools, and after that they can go into various other academies where military trainings are happening. However, NDA is not yet started with girls cadets, man. The NDA is
My daughter wanted to join the.
My request, sir. I don't know. Maybe this is nationally. So all gender free, the third gender, the all
yeah.
should come into this. There should be there shouldn't be any stereotypes. So
Never,
that's
ma'am. And
all.
nothing withstanding to that, we have girls here, staff kids, so they are getting adequate exposure also. But
That's
the main
that's not
entry,
fair.
yeah, that's not
Not
fair,
okay.
of course.
Probably after 50
we have
Yes,
five
government
to 10
here.
5 to 10 girls also. Yeah.
I have a question for Ramakrishnan, sir.
Okay.
Can I ask? It's actually a personal question. So since you have studied in IIT Madras, what was it like to be studying in IIT Madras in that time, back in that time?
Oh, it was I should tell you, a totally different world altogether. In fact, I would say that I didn't know that I was in Chennai. I didn't know. It was a campus with fully synchronized with nature, and we were in a world altogether for ourselves, focused in our studies and research, and friends, as you know, friends are all the entire world was friends for us. The department, the library, the nature, and uh, I used to feel totally at home. And those days, like it was there was no rat race. It was very calm, and people don't get dejected for anything. And even placements were taken very, very, I should say, not easy, but in a sportive manner. Nobody gets dejected. I mean, everybody gets placed. That's another thing. But um, professors used to be extremely friendly. We used to walk into their home to have lunch or dinner anytime we can. And they used to talk to us even in a personal manner. And it was such an atmosphere. I don't know. I think things have changed a lot these days.
Yes, I have
people-
I have done my BTech from IIT Jodhpur. It's a new IIT, if you might heard of. It's a new IIT established in the year 2008. So I just wanted to get a feel ki what it was like back then, and how does it feel to visit your alma mater after means let's say 15 or 20 years. How does it feel to be back in campus? Because
Yeah,
yesterday I
I'll
was
tell you.
attending. Yesterday, actually, I was attending the alumni meet of IIT Jodhpur. It was being conducted by the director of IIT Jodhpur. So I just wanted to, since I got opportunity to talk to you, so I just wanted to get a feel how you feel like.
Okay, I should say that that freeness is gone. I think I'll tell you a small example. Earlier days, we used to have Mardi Gras. It's called the festival of competitions for 4 days during the month of February. It's called Mardi Gras. During that time, Mardi Gras has no time limits at all. It's a 24-hour program. It starts all day, competitions are held. All nights, we have music program, and it never ends.
Mhm.
Students are so free. They enjoy everything. And these days, Mardi Gras starts exactly at 10 in the morning. I mean, it's not called Mardi Gras now. It's called some other name. I don't, it doesn't, Sarang, I think. It
Yes, sir.
starts
It's called
around
Sarang.
10, 9:30, 10, and lights are switched off at 10 o'clock at night. Electricity is cut at 10 o'clock.
Actually, I think there is some issue with the local authorities. Actually, they don't allow us now, because I was the part of my institute. So we were told that by the end of 10:30 it should be switched off completely, and you should start removing students from the campus or the places where there will be crowd after 10 p.m. So because of that, I think the culture is changing, and because of technology also, I think so, because now internet is readily available in the campus, and most of us are stuck to the laptop. And in your time, you all were going to the computer lab and sitting there and enjoying your time.
Okay, I have something to add here.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes,
10 days back, both of us went for a round inside, and then we went to Taramani guest house where we stayed. That our honeymoon, short honeymoon, was in Taramani.
Yeah, correct.
So we went and had a look. And Ram used to tell me, even when he went for the interview, he should tell you that he was asked to go to all the departments, visit all the departments, and come back. And he went into one of the departments. Someone came and asked him so many questions.
I think I went into the electronics component laboratory, the Department of Electronics. And before that, I went into the digital laboratory. I visited all the departments. And there was somebody sitting in the lab, and who asked me who I am, and he asked me some technical questions, 2 or 3 questions. I was clean bold.
He couldn't answer.
I didn't know what to answer him. I have never heard such questions. So I frankly said, sorry, sir. I don't know. Perhaps this is it. Perhaps this is that. I just came out. Later on, when I really got the admission and I joined the institution, then I understood that he is the #1 professor in electronic components,
Oh,
Dr. R.K. Rao. I still remember his classes, the time of the class, and what topic he took. It is still in my mind.
So that is the impact professors created those days, And one
Yes.
more thing, sir was saying, the rat race. And there was no dejection, there was no depression, because we were taught to face failures. When you train children, it's okay to train them to fare in examinations. It is okay to train them to for competitive examination, but it's all the more important to train them to face failures, because every experience, every failure, you learn something. It never goes for a waste, and failures are part of life. which is failures are, according to me, failures are more important than success.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we fail 100 times in life, but we get success one time.
You know, and not only that, beta, the thing is, the failure, facing failure itself is an art. It's a skill you have to teach the children. If not this, something better is waiting. You know?
In the sense, you don't term it as failure. Take out that word failure. You didn't succeed. That's it.
I'll give you an
That's
example.
a good way to put it.
Right.
Exactly.
I will tell you one example. Our daughters, okay, they are very bright students. Actually, our elder one, she scored 98.6 in +2, and the second one, she scored 497 out of 500. She did her BCom in SRCC, then she's a CA CFA. The elder one completed her double masters in engineering, and now Shreya has got through SP Jain and IIMA. You know, like but then I remember in all the campus placements, Sharda and Shruti were rejected.
The eldest ones.
Every time that they sat for the campus placement, there would be some problem, something. Last round they will get. I have seen my daughters getting so demotivated. The system itself has a problem. But then we kept telling them, so what? If not this, there's something else better. Probably someone else was better than you. Probably their requirements were, you were not suiting their requirements. Doesn't mean that, you know, we never force them to get marks or stand first in the class. Never. So that is something these days. So they kept getting rejected. Finally, Sharda, eldest one, decided she got a very nice internship, managed to fetch a very nice internship abroad. She went to Papua New Guinea, where it was a UN project. She went there, only 5 or 6 students from the world went. She went and attended that, and she started her own company. Okay, so because she didn't get placed, that opened a better opportunity for her.
News, yeah.
Like Shruti, she prepared for this one for CAT. She works really hard. When she was in you know, SRCC, you know how the competition is there, no? Such a competitive spirit, and you know, and the first year she didn't get into any of the clubs. Then she was dejected. First year she refused to go back. Then we had to tell her that everything will be all right. It will take time. But then the next year she became the most popular student in the college. It all happens, but they have to be given that time and that confidence. Okay, rejection doesn't mean that you're not good. It is just that somewhere at that time, something didn't work for you. That's all. Okay, then she prepared for the CAT and she got calls from 4 IIMs. All 3 rejected her. The last, she went till the last round and they asked her a question. Do you, because she is very, those times she used to go
patriotic.
Yeah, very patriotic, and not only that, she is very service oriented those times. And she used to go for all these, you know, hunger strikes and all that. So the interviewer asked her, do you think India needs another Gandhi? So she said, yeah, but this time it's a woman. That's all. She was rejected. You know, so, and she was so disappointed. Now she is in London with JP Morgan as you know, an investment banker, and she's one of the very, very, very successful bankers, right? So and she completed her CFA also. CFA, you know, only 1.5 lakh CFAs in the world. So she completed all her 3 stages of CFA. See, she's a CA CFA now. Had she gone into IIM, then it would have been a different path, probably a different path. So rejection, first, your students, I have a humble request to all of you. You're all trainers, you're all grooming the future citizens. Teach them how to take rejection, how to take disappointment, how to take failures. That makes them successful.
Right.
I'd like to add one more thing. I mean, you asked me a question, right? How it was earlier and how is it now? So,
Yes, sir.
one thing which was not there was peer pressure. I never felt peer pressure in my during my studies, during when I was studying. And now, what I find is only that the peer pressure is so much that students among themselves they feel insecure when they find somebody scoring more than them or getting placed in a better organization, which was not there at all. It was so free. Please.
Sorry, one more addition.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay to talk?
Yes,
Sure,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we stay on the 9th floor. Okay. So when we look from here, there is a skating rink. Okay. On Sundays, you see a lot of parents bringing their children to skate. Right. So when you look from here, you can see that parents are encouraging the children to race. Okay. They want their children to race the others. Come on, fast, fast. So the focus is on who is coming first, who is doing better. Whereas the focus to be the enjoyment, the very act of, being a part of a community, group, community in the sense gated community of a group, and then you enjoy the weather, you enjoy the sport, you enjoy the process.
Everything has
Once you
become a
enjoy
competition.
the process, ultimately you will succeed. You will do your best. You will come out with your best potential. But here, that is not the focus. The focus is on, oh, my child did better than your child. My child has to be the first. There is no second. Then who will come second if everybody has to be first? What nonsense is this?
Actually, parents are only just making them into competitive world.
Yeah. So in this military school, actually, that's why sir adopted all the childs and all of them. A single father is there, so all are same in his eyes.
All are into the same, looked after by same person.
Sumit sir, I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
And last question for ma'am actually. Ma'am, yeah, as you said, you have 3 daughters and 3 are really successful. And you both are, as a parent, you both are also successful. So being successful and having daughters, it can actually spoil the daughters or any child. Means seeing the fame of your parents and using it can spoil it. But how did you parent them that make them successful? So that I really want to know.
Okay, so
Before you start, can I just
please.
say one sentence? Okay, the question is to you.
Oh, that's okay.
But I would just
But
say
it's okay. It's okay.
one sentence. I would just to say that we never considered them as daughters.
No, sir, I'm not talking about daughters.
No.
You have daughters.
No. What I'm completely going on a different plane.
IITN.
Like,
You
no.
think like that only.
No. What I want to say is they are children. Okay. And individuals and whatever they want to do, what they should have some kind of a free thinking. Okay, you're a daughter, you're a son, that's a different this thing. So they are children, and we would like to see them having the right values and grow up. So that's it. So up to you.
That is not me. Okay, that's only his attitude, and I admire him for that. I'm not like, I'm a very, very strict mother. Like our officer said, I believe in instilling good habits and discipline at a very early age.
I have an officer here.
So I have been a very, very strict mother that way. But other than that, for all the major things like choosing their line, and what they want to do in life, and giving them the freedom to explore, experiment,
choosing their partners
as adolescents, finding out the finding out the nuances and the process of growing up to be a teenager and a young woman. Though I have climbed all the walls in the house, though I have fought so much with them, but I make sure that's one thing we did. When there was a difference of opinion, when there was peer pressure from their side, and then we never needed it. We were firm with certain things. This is not okay. This is not acceptable to our family. So Ram, when he unconditionally supported me because he trusted me. The children have a tendency. What they do, if there is a difference of opinion with the parents, if they want something to be done, if the mother or the father is against it, they'll go to the other partner and get their things done. That didn't happen here because he unconditionally supported me. Though he was very friendly with the children, treated them like individuals, all that he did. The stricter part I did, and I became the villain. That's okay, but now they know why it is. It was not an aware thing. Okay, I won't say that we plan to do all this consciously and we learn. No, it happened because we all come from conservative families, very big families. Though my parents were very busy, his parents were busy in their own ways. Our childhood had its own problems. Values and discipline was intact. The foundation was very, very strong. So that automatically got passed on to the children. So, and also wherever we thought there was a lapse from our parents' side, we decided to correct it in our case.
Next generation.
Now the next generation, my daughter, when we see her bringing up her child, we are able to make out that there are certain things we missed out, which she is correcting, because we have 3 children. By the time Shruti was born, Sharda was just 2.5 years old. She was also a very young child, but we treated her like an older child because there was a younger one. We didn't realize that she was also a young child. Those things she is very sure that she can correct it. That is a process. But upbringing, one thing is discipline. Second thing is the right values. Children should know our traditions. For that, parents have to take an effort. Though we were away from India, we were abroad, Ram was there 22 years, still we made it a point that we visited our parents, both set of parents and family. We made a conscious effort to attend all family functions. And we are very open with our children. We discuss everything. At one stage, our children started saying, Amma, please, we don't have the mind space. You don't have to tell us everything that happens in your life. Because I feel they are part of, we wanted the children to be involved in all the family matters. After a certain stage, it becomes difficult because they have their own pressure. So I think that is, and then parents have to be examples. It's not like you can preach them, you can teach them, but you yourself have to live that life, no?
Yes,
exactly.
If I'm not disciplined, if Ram is not disciplined, you go and ask your child to come back home at a certain time, they won't listen to you because they will ask you, because it's something which is, parents have to be role models.
Right.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
So my next question, my last question to you, sir, Lieutenant Colonel Shyam Krishna.
Yeah.
So today, most of the students are using social media and they got addicted with games. So would you like to give any kind of motivational tips to them that how to avoid this, or any motivational story you want to share at last with the students?
Yeah, of course, with all the students, even though we know the social media is part and parcel of our life with this present generation, and the restricted use is the only way. Either with the parents, if somebody is there at home, then parents can monitor how much time they are using the same thing, whether they are using in a healthy manner or not. Or too much addiction, of course, automatically will spoil.
Correct.
So how to plan the thing, means the time management for each and everything should be there, because the social media or the relation is not going to end very soon. But the main purpose of a student, the main objective of a student is to study and to achieve something for the next grade. So that time management has to be very clear. If the individual can devote most of his time to studies and other sports and games and value oriented activities, and a stipulated time to get connected with the social circle, and within a stipulated time under a supervision, if they are not well mature, if they are mature enough to understand the pros and cons of social media, then automatically the parents or the persons who are monitoring can be slightly more away from that. But in the early childhood and the adolescence, of course, the chances of getting diverted into right and left is more, and the monitoring is very much essential. So stipulated use, yeah, restricted use, and the time management for each and everything will, of course, will help to get connected with the social circle, at the same time to get focused on what the individual really wants to do in life.
Correct. Even ma'am and sir, the same question to you also. What do you suggest our student that how not to get addicted with the social media, because they need time, and time is very important, because if time is spent, sir is spending 1 hour, if they are spending 1 hour, so their 1 hour is more valuable right now, because they are building their career. We are already settled. If we will spend 1 hour, it will not matter that much. But how
Yeah.
they can control themselves to be addicted with these things and take a benefit of that technology also along with that,
Sir, one more thing I would like to add.
right?
Can I?
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes.
Sir, please also include the importance of study, since all three of you are really successful in your own domain and field. Please emphasis on the importance of study, so that a student can get a view ki if you want to be successful in life, study is at least some part of it. If you can focus on that also.
Yes.
You have to say something.
I would, in simple thing, I would put it like this. Most of the students nowadays do not consider this instrument
Correct.
as a phone. They just, yeah, they just consider this as an entertainment tool.
Yes.
So immediately, whenever the morning they get up, right from that time onwards, if they want to spend their time leisurely, they just take this and just sit down with that, with whatever forwards come, or even they watch movies in this, and by practicing this, they are not able, they get addicted, they are not able to get away from that.
Correct.
Whereas, I don't know, from our days onwards, we didn't have this, first of all. And when this was introduced, the concept of using this itself, it has lost its value. They got totally addicted to this. And I find when you go outside and you see youngsters, 24 hours they are on this. They're totally only virtually connected. Even if you ask them to stay 10 days away from their family or friends, no problem, because they have this. They have this. So the addiction is so much. So this is something which I would like to say, that they have to know what kind of gadgets they are using, and also
What is the purpose
of it, and how important it is to physically connect with people.
Okay. I do this show, so I know what comes with the use of this phone extensively, and what are the implications, the negative side of it. So I find there is only one solution, because all of us know what the problem is. Now we are looking at the solution. It is a matter of like brushing, or we get up every day morning and brush. It's a habit, right? So there should be a system put in the house. Start from home. That people, when they come inside from school, college, or office, they put all their phones on a table, right? And whenever there is an emergency, you can pick it up. You can have exclusive family time which cannot be disturbed by any phone calls or internet. That has to be a rule set in every family. I keep suggesting this, otherwise it doesn't happen. Even, you know what, if we are sitting together, one of the family members is busy with their phone. There is always an emergency. There is always something to do. There is always work taken home. But there has to be some discipline that we have to put our foot down. So during, like what happens is when you first few months or few days, it will be difficult. Once they start interacting personally, like how we got used not going out during the lockdown, we start enjoying that personal interaction, physical interaction, personal time. You will spend time with your grandparents. Where are the children doing all that? We used to draw, paint.
Correct.
You know, all the walls will be,
Full
of graphics. All those things are gone. And eating together. Do we do that? We just pick up the plate, sit in front of the TV, some interview will be going on, or will be swapping the channels and then eat. You don't know what goes inside. What you're eating, you don't even know, you don't relish the food. If you see my household help, she sits down with her water, with her plate. She enjoys every morsel because it is earned through hard work. Do we teach the children the value of the food they eat? How difficult it is for so many people to get that one plate of food? Don't you respect that food? Why do they ask you to sit on a table and eat? Because we are respecting. That's giving us life. Why are we with so many diseases now? Because we don't give proper respect to the food we eat.
Right.
So it is a matter of discipline which starts from home. Only parents can inculcate that habit. It has to start from the mother and father. Mother should stop this and cooking and giving the iPad to the children and do this when they want to keep them busy. And fathers, when they come home, they should not bring in backlog work home. If they have to tell, I need some time, I need to go. Go into your room and do your work and come back. When you're with people, interact with people. That is our advice.
Exactly.
And
I would like to share a small joke.
Yes.
When you say,
Yes,
there was
sir.
a cartoon. I think most of you would have seen this cartoon. There are two pictures. A picture in black and white, which was taken long ago. 4 or 5 friends sitting in a restaurant and having a hearty laugh.
Yes, sir.
communicating with
I
each
saw
other.
it. Sorry.
Another cartoon which is taken in recent years. 5 of friends sitting like this.
that's all. So
All of them head down with their mobiles.
Right.
So why do they want to meet?
Correct.
First of all, the meaning of meeting itself is lost. They could have done this at their respective houses.
So you had a question about studies, right? So Ram is highly educated. All of you are highly educated.
You also.
So no, you're all highly educated. I'm giving you a living example. My experience. I'm not preaching here. I'm sharing my experience. All of you are, educated. You have a path. I didn't start my life like that. Okay. After 10th, I was a very bright student, very, very bright student. Even today morning, we were saying, if I was guided properly, if I had been, my aptitude was known, I would have, I'm very, very, arrogantly saying, I would have become one of the world's best doctors. Because I was so much interested in the human body. I was so good at science, and I had so much of interest in medicine. Okay. But everything went. There was nobody to guide me. And I won't complain. My parents did their best because they were like grandparents for me. So I had a search. I had a thirst for identity. I had a search I went from this field to that field to that field, but everywhere, because of hard work, I succeeded. But 200% I had to put in effort. Luckily, I have a supportive husband. If not, imagine I would have wasted my life in the kitchen. I don't say people who are in the kitchen are wasting their life. My mom chose to be in the kitchen and she brought up achievers. Okay, that itself is but it should be out of choice. Right. What I'm saying is, so I had to struggle. I had to go every step and, find out which is my line. I couldn't find out. It took 45 years of age for me to know my passion. Why waste your life? You can't. If I had been a film director at 25 or 30, I would have won the Oscar by now. Probably by the time I learned that, I would be no more. I have wasted so much of my life in searching for my passion because I didn't have professional education. Okay, but that doesn't mean that, oh, my child will go to engineering or my child will go to medicine and this is, no, that is not what I'm talking about. When it came to Shreya, our youngest daughter, by that time we were matured parents. Okay, so we left her in her path. She's not a child. She did very well in her 12th, but she didn't want to take engineering. She didn't want to take medicine. She did not want to do her CA. So she explored. She did her electronic media, and then she went to Teach for India. She traveled. She worked in a corporation school for 2 years. Then she went to Tata Trust and traveled to 200 villages in a project called Internet Sati for the rural women, quoted by Google and Tata Trust. Then she joined SIFF, a foundation where it was a platform for artists, young artists, to groom themselves. She did extremely well, but I kept telling her that you have to do your masters. There is no two ways about it. 5 years she was enjoying her work. She didn't want to go for higher studies. She was not very keen because she said, I still don't know where I want to specialize. But I kept on giving her that example. See me, Kanna. I had to wait till 45 years. If I had that professional degree then, probably it would have been much easier for me. You don't do that mistake. So all of them, like Ram, very lenient. Ram says she will do well wherever she goes. But then I insisted. Finally, she prepared for her GMAT and she cleared. And she got a call from IIMA and SP Jain also. She is enrolled now. So now I know that she has a management degree. Now you do whatever you want. You're equipped for life. So that one professional qualification does a lot. Studies are only that is your wealth. What your parents leave behind, what you earn, all this can go away anytime. What will give you a hand is only your education. So there is no compromise on that. Have a professional, proper degree, be multi-skilled. One degree is not enough. You should be able to survive with, you should have multiple skills. Skill development is very important. You need to have life skills, groom yourself. You have all the opportunities. You have the internet now. There is so much of good, valuable videos coming up. Keep your eyes and ears open. You will find doors where there seem to be none. And also create your own opportunities. Be entrepreneurs. Even if you're working, see, India is surviving because of the entrepreneurial spirit, because of entrepreneurs. Even in this crisis, it is surviving because of entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs
as well very, very important.
As well as our military. As well as our military.
Yes, of course. That is understood. What I'm saying is multi-skills and the thirst for knowledge. Please instill that thirst for knowledge in your children. Education is about I want to learn today. I want to learn from of our Colonel Saab. I want to ask him, can I come to your school? Will you train me? I'm still
Yeah,
want to
ma'am,
be a student.
please. Anytime welcome, ma'am. Anytime welcome.
So
Suswagatam.
that
Suswagatam.
spirit of that learning, no, it never ends. That thirst you have to imbibe in the children.
Once the
That
cadets
is
are
what
back, ma'am,
education.
I will, once the cadets are back, of course, we will extend a good invitation for both of you to come and just motivate our cadets also.
Correct.
No, I want to come as a cadet.
No issue.
And I want to get trained.
Ma'am, I would like to say something.
Huh?
Like the way sir said, na, they are my daughters. They will do good on anything they will do. So likewise, my father said, कि बेटा तुम मेरे बेटा हो, जो करोगे अच्छा करोगे. So I think that is inculcated into all the fathers, that they believe in their child. They will do whatever they will do. They will do good.
Right. So, students, in today's session, we have learned many things from 3 different personalities, and all of them are successful in their field. And you will come to know many things. And one more thing that they add, that first step towards success is to begin. You know, and no matter how many times you tried, at last success is the ultimate aim. And one more thing about the addiction, but I'm very happy in a military school, you will never get addicted with this kind of mobile, because this is not allowed there. And you'll enjoy all the activities. So if you want to get rid of that and do something for your nation, then definitely join military school, Rashtriya Military School. And thanks for giving us time, Lieutenant Colonel Shyam Krishna sir,
Thank you.
Ma'am, Ramakrishnan sir, thanks for giving us time, and thanks for teaching our students and giving your experiences. That is really nice, very nice. We are very honored.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our pleasure.
Thanks from my side also.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Nice
All the
meeting all.
best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank
Colonel
you.
Saab,
Thank you, sir.
our visit to your
Sure, it's due. It's due.